Mike Perry shamed the MMA community. I mean, the MMA and combat sports community. Everyone really thought he was like the guy. Everyone really thought that he was gonna like do it. You know, it's like, and again, I wish I had uploaded the prediction video I made, because I did highlight how Perry has very weird fundamentals and doesn't do anything correctly, and there's a reason he got cut from the UFC and other things like that. I wish I'd uploaded it, because I would have looked like a genius, because it's pretty much exactly what I said happened. But it is what it is. Yeah, Mike Perry couldn't adjust. He did the whole thing the same fight. He sat there in range trying to like maneuver out of the way of punches with no footwork. You know, couldn't keep his hands up at the appropriate times. Couldn't counter correctly. Couldn't use his jab. I mean, the dude looked horrible. The dude looked terrible. Mike Perry, like, the fact that that guy was in the UFC, he should be ashamed. Everyone in the MMA and UFC community should be like honestly shaming him, because bro, you look that terrible in a fight with Jake, who's not even like that great, and you know, you're representing basically the MMA community, and his skills have improved virtually none since he got cut from the UFC or his first couple fights in bare knuckle. So yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely terrible. The sheer delusion to think that, like, because he had a sparring match with Jake a couple years ago, and apparently he did okay in that sparring match, and his analysis of the sparring match was, you know, Jake hit me with a big shot and I stood there and took it, and you know, I could still stand there and take his best punches, and I taught him something during that sparring match. He didn't teach me anything. Well, unfortunately, Mike, it's not that he didn't teach you anything. It's probably that you're just too dumb to listen. That's probably what it is. Because you looked terrible in that fight. Absolutely atrocious. Honestly, Mike and all these other guys who go in there who are just terrible boxers, who really think they're going to beat Jake, you're embarrassments to MMA. You're embarrassments to the combat sports community. Yeah, he's just an embarrassment. I mean, I thought he was going to be able to make some adjustments for Jake. None. Same way he fights in bare knuckle. Just sit in range, try to maneuver out of the way of punches, even though you get hit by every single one. No footwork, no foundation, no intelligence, no controlling your opponent, no feints, nothing. Nothing right, nothing impressive. Just take 10 shots, get rocked a couple times, but then stand there and land one big one. Take another 10, but then stand there and land one big one. And because he has a better chin than most guys, he can literally play this game where he takes like 10, 15 shots, but then he'll hit you back with one. And because you don't have a good chin, he can take it and you can't. That's literally his strategy. It's nuts. It is nuts. And it didn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work against someone with actual skill who's a lot bigger than you. You got to understand, Jake probably came in at like 225, 230. I would say probably at least 220, somewhere between 220 and 230. Mike, I believe, had to gain weight, or like had to like bulk up a little bit or something like that, or just stayed at his current weight, and I guess barely made 200 pounds. So, you know, and again, Jake is such a fool for bragging about that, for thinking that's like an accomplishment. Like, bro, you know what you're doing. You're picking these trash guys who just have a superlative. Like, Jake should write a book called like How to Con People into Thinking You're a Phenomenal Fighter. Is he bad? No. Is he actually like pretty decent? Yeah, he's like a low level pro. That's like what he is. The only guy he fought who actually is a pro, a low level pro, Tommy Fury, smoked him. Right? Tommy won the vast majority of the rounds. The only reason it was a split was because Jake hit him with a jab in one of the later rounds when Tommy was coming in, and it knocked Tommy off balance, and that's why it was a split. It really wasn't a split. It was pretty much unanimous for Tommy. Tommy's not even really that good at all, and he beat Jake unanimously. So, you know, and everyone Jake's fought since then has been lower level, so I don't really know what he's doing or exactly what he's going for. And so, so, so I don't know what he's trying to do or exactly what he's going for, but if he wants to increase the quality of his skill, he's gonna have to increase the quality of his competition. If he wants to sell people that he's actually, gonna be this world champion or something like that, because he's just not. But see, again, like he did it his last two fights where I think he went down the trajectory, the path of trying to like fight boxers, and he fought these two just absolute losers. One of them was a 40-year-old Uber driver who hadn't fought in like 3 years, who looked terrible, looked about as good as Mike Perry did, maybe even worse. Apparently had like 18 wins, which I don't even know how that guy won anything. It just goes to show you a lot of these guys are fighting. It's like a sardine can fighting a tomato can. That's a lot of, like, they're both cans at Walmart, but like when they win, it's not against anyone impressive. So it kind of looks impressive. And Jake tried to sell that Ryan Borland guy as like, oh, he's got 18 wins. A lot of them are by KO. It's like, and who is he beating? A bunch of nobodies who suck, because he's a nobody who sucks. And he looked horrible in that fight. His skill level was just so terrible. And then the way it ended, it almost looks fixed. It was very weird. And Jake wants to try to further his legacy and say he's this pro by fighting these losers. I don't say loser like as they are, who they are as a person, but like what they've accomplished in the sport. Right? Just nobodies, essentially. So, yeah, he should write a book, like how to scam fight fans and make millions for dummies. But he's done a good job. And I know he does lie about his pay-per-view numbers. I know, like, they don't actually really make a lot of money for that. I think he makes a lot of money for other stuff, but he's done a good job. We'll see how much longer his little ploy or trick can last. I don't know. Maybe beating Mike Perry did do something for his social credit, but he's got to start to fight someone that's like impressive if he wants to like start to further this I'm a boxer thing. But the problem is when he fights a boxer, no one cares. Like, people don't understand, the boxing community doesn't care about him. It's mostly MMA fighters who want to see him get his ass beat. So, very interesting dynamics. We'll see where he goes next from here. I mean, and then also after this, he says the Mike Tyson, the fight with a 60-year-old man, or the whatever old man. I don't know how old he is. What a medical emergency. Because that's why he had to pull out the fight, because he had to go to the hospital for a medical emergency. That's who Jake's fighting next. Like, will it make money? I don't know. Are you an idiot if you buy that? I guess it depends on the price. I don't really know what he's doing. I would love to know the actual numbers behind what he's making, because I know some of his fights, like, they make almost like they either barely break 6-figure buys, or again, he makes, like, his last 2 fights, he made them free because no one cares about them. The Ryan Borland guy and the one before that, if I'm not mistaken, he made them free because he knows no one wants to watch it, because no one actually cares about him. So unless he's causing a tremendous amount of controversy, no one really cares. No one really wants to tune in. No one's really that excited. So is what it is. Interesting stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. My name's Angelo. This is The Art of Violence. Until next time.